What's up everyone, this is Cher talking, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to talk about news for Romancing SaGa Universe. We just got the announcement of double banners for the celebration of the Chinese Lunar New Year. Besides, also two different events. The first one called Dragon Lantern Fest 2023 that only has plus 10 points of HP cap, so you don't really need to run this too much. You can still run this story mode because we are getting extra forging materials to drop. And then we also have the Lunar New Year fireworks display. This one will see the rerun of some past welfare styles and also an SS accessory, I guess. So that's good. Two different events means more gens, because two different events carries two different banners, right? Well, let's talk a little about the Romancing Festival Macha banner. This one is a banner that was kind of expected by the community because Macha plays an important role on JP as one of the best healers there. But we got changes in most of our healers recently and they will compete against Macha, and we'll talk about her in a few. We already have the information. Balmaint is axe wielder. He deals slash and some damage. He can actually do some good damage too. Leonard is a great sword user that deals heat and slash. Those two will be mostly used for farming, but they are not exactly that important. Then we have the other banner, the Taria banner that brings Taria, that offers support and damage. Then Oggiana, an axe user that deals damage and can also single target heal. Will be very interesting from now on for axe on Remembrance. And there is Khan, a spear user with some support that can decrease the chance of being inflicted by specific status elements. But we don't have the information about this banner yet. We do have the information about Macha banner, and that's something that we're going to check. Now we are here on a post by Hands43 on Reddit. Thank you so much for doing this amazing job as always. He translated a video link from the Taiwanese community that showcases the styles and compared them all to the JP counterparts. Well, Macha is the most important character. She was pretty interesting on JP, used it many times. They buffed her endurance, that was pretty bad, buffed a little of intelligence and love. With that much love, she's gonna heal for very big numbers, and it's pretty similar to the status that a Spell Girl has. Well, her combination of agility and intelligence is not that high. That means that she may sometimes miss her attacks on very hard challenges. But her will is just so good, she's not going to be hit by status elements as easy as some other characters, and will receive less damage from magical attacks. They changed her first passive that had 25% chance to buff, now it's 37% chance to buff intelligence by 10%, and also recover HP for all surviving allies. So this places her in the same veins as iToken with the extra effect of buffing intelligence as well. Intelligence is not that important most of the time against bosses because we usually use Pin of Peace to increase our will, and also dexterity if you're using Leon, for example, now Chooser as well. So we don't need intelligence with these other characters, but it does help her just a little. And she kept the same second passive that when she is healing with the second spell, that is a recovery spell, and only this one she will now recover 1 BP, kinda to regain the same BP she had before using. And she will also self-heal for medium effect, that should be around 1000, so that's actually pretty interesting, since if she needs to be healed, you can heal someone else and get the heal from the passive, healing 2 people on the same time. And applies defense enhancement and attack enhancement. But from all that I know, the large effect for attack and defense enhancement is actually 30% instead of 20, but I may be wrong. Then we have High Protect Tension, increasing damage output by 20 and reducing all damage taken by 30%. That's actually very nice. But Surfing is another healer with cheap BP cost, and she does not have High Protect Tension. We discussed this on the review, so she's going to be much more resistant, like Empress, for example, or a Spell Girl. Then we have the first skill, that's a free skill with heat damage, but it's also a heat spell. That means that she needs a double element weapon that recovers 1 BP. This is actually very interesting because of skill number 3. That is now only 8 BP contrary to 9 on JP. That hits 2 times and recovers HP 2 times by very small effect. That should be around 170 in current game or so. This is a single target blunt and pierce attack. That's actually pretty interesting, since double elements will do at least neutral damage. And the intelligence boost can sometimes increase her damage even further if she's using healing spells in single target allies. So she has single target spell, she has a double hit attack that heals 2 times. If you are using tortoise shell formation, you will heal much better than the other formations, and I can tell you that from time to time she can be your only healer, but that's not exactly something that will happen all the time, because in global or events are usually adjusted to the characters that we have, and many times Polka that heals much more is not enough in content. So she can be the secondary healer most of the time, competing against Global X and Press that has a shield, competing against a Spell Girl that has a different type of shield as well, and competing against Miss Surfing that it's actually a strong damage dealer for bossing. Well, I really think that she has a place, but if you already have 1 or 2 cheap AoE healers, I don't see she offering too much, to be honest. So if you don't have gens, skip. You will have to decide upon using the characters. If you have too many, they will just be left in the dust. Then we have Leonard, and he has 116% STR, that's pretty big, 99% agility so that he goes first when farming, 80% intelligence because he can apply stun. I don't know why they give him this, because he's not made for bossing. He can stun Kazinsi, but maybe in the future when we get more stages he will prove to be worth, I don't know. Endurance, Dexterity, and will suffer because he's not made for bossing. Then we start with 13 BP, and when he's on full HP he gets plus 15 increasing damage. When the round begins he gets a 50% increasing damage, and on odd turns, that means turn 1 and turn 3, he will grant himself a heat up that increases damage by 10% for a max of 5 times, and when he kills a target he will also recover 3 BP. This is kind of just like Halloween Silver. So we have here 65% increasing damage on start off round in under 10%, so 75 on start of round. It's not as much as Soji, that is another specialist for farming, but because he does have the BP regain, he can be used in some dedicated scenarios because of his skill number 2. That is a roll attack with slash and heat with double S power that have a low chance to inflict stun. So he can use this 3 times in a row. He can solo farm story stages with this attack. That is actually very interesting, but he's not the only one capable of doing this. It will be more interesting on events with 2 waves, I guess, if he can actually solo farm. And the strange thing about him is that, well, after round begins, on turn 2, for example, he does not have the second passive, but he tries to get the 50% back with his heat up effect. So kind of a mixed bag here. Why did they give him this? They could have given him a passive like Balmaint that increases 20 plus 20 in damage instead of going for 50% for 1 turn. I'll talk more about that. And if he doesn't have enough BP, he can still use a roll attack, this time only slash with B power. Kind of similar to Cordelia, for example. Opens big and then goes for weaker attacks. And his skill number 3 is the same one as the last welfare Golden Lion, that has triple S power in global for full AoE damage. This is insane. With Princess Lion is already pretty strong and she can clear waves. With this character that is even stronger, the damage will always clear waves that, well, don't have absurd HP. Very nice for farming. This will be more handful for events, because he can only use this on turn 2 and you can open with someone else trying to heal the first wave and then he will just finish the second. Well, he is a farmer with nothing really special, to be honest, besides the roll attack. The AoE damage we can find with Princess Lion, the difference will not be that big. Slash is kinda easy to find. The heat part that was added in global is actually more interesting. Is he a must character? Totally no. Then we have Balmaint. He has 114% SDR, they buffed his dexterity because it was terrible, and now his agility is 105%. Very high for a farmer. And we have round begins. His action order increase, I don't know why, this will happen in some characters for 1 turn, and then his STR will also be buffed by 20%. This looks like kind of a welfare passive, because after round begins, he does not have this anymore. It will just eventually wear off. In 4 turns, you have 0 STR buff. And the second passive we have when equipped an X, damage increases by 20 and weak attack damage increases by 20. This is what I said that should have been given to Leonard, so that he would have 40% at all times instead of 50. I would prefer this much better, because that will allow him to be better on Remembrance, for example. But no. Balmaint has. And then fired up 6, increasing damage by 30. So he has 70% at all times when attacking weak targets. That's pretty cool, actually. Although the first passive is related to farming. Now, the first skill is a full AoE attack with Slash and Blunt. This is actually nice with 3 EP only, but he actually chooses Slash and Sun for his next attacks. This second one here is a column attack, so 8 power for column. And the third one is a full AoE Slash and Sun attack with only B power, but after he uses this attack, he follows up with this second. It's interesting, to be honest. Well, we had someone that did this before, but in that case was a version of Black that opened with column and then did a row attack. In his case was both attacks with 8 power. Here we have AoE Slash and column. That means that if you want to do column damage, the AoE will hit column too. So more for column, and then you can do both Slash and Sun. We don't have Sun in column damage, so this is kind of unique right now. We will have in the future. But then again, he's just a farmer, can be used on Remembrance because of the lack of interesting axe wielders. So another kind of easy to skip, because Slash and Sun are pretty common, to be honest, when you are thinking about different events and not that Remembrance battles. Well, this winner has 2 farmers and 1 boss specialist with Macha. Macha is the best one because she will have bigger longevity. Support units are usually more interesting because they don't easily get outclassed, although she can be seen as a side grade to the other sheep healers. The problem being that her cycle is not perfect. She recovers 1 BP when she uses skill number 1, but she does not gain 4 BP all the time, although it will not be that much of a problem because you will only lacking 1 BP. You will have to skip 1 turn in another here and there. If you don't have Polka, I guess she can help you a lot. If you have way too many sheep healers, I think it's an easy skip. The banner itself will receive silver award for those that can get following out of Macha. For those that cannot, it will be just a bronze award. And we'll have to wait for the next banner, so it's always good to wait. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is my opinion. What is yours? Please see here in the comment sections. Thank you so much. I hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye.